Hey everyone, Manofinterests here for another episode of This Week in Keyboards. This week in Keyboards, I'll also be covering Last Week in Keyboards since I didn't cover that video last week. My apologies. For This Week in Keyboards, I'd like to change it up a little bit right before I start. I'd like to say that I'm going to be dividing the show into two sections. In the future, these might actually branch off into two different series, but the first half of the episode, I'm going to be talking about non-group buy, non-interest check news, aptly titled The News, and after that, in the second half of the episode, I will be covering group buys and interest checks. I think I'll be nice and a little bit more organized, and I'll put a link in the bottom if you want to skip to halfway point. Starting off the news, last week, Cherry announced that the Cherry yellow switches are in fact fake switches. These switches were found in China, and Cherry said most likely someone had used their own independently made sliders and inserted them into Cherry housings. That's pretty interesting that a Chinese company would clone Cherry's name, but with a switch that no one knows that Cherry makes. I think that's kind of odd. If you really want to try to get away with fraud, when they want to use blues, browns, any of the common colors. But yellow is the only company that I know of really that makes yellows is Gateron with their linear yellow switches. So I don't know what's happening there, but cherry yellows do not exist, and maybe they won't ever exist. Maybe they will. Next in the news, the Wooting Keyboard is available for pre-order at a price of €159. The Wooting Keyboard was a Kickstarter project that garnered 425% of the required support. It's an analog keyboard that has full per-key RGB LED lighting, NKRO, full programmability, and yeah, that's about it. But the key selling fact is it's an analog switch, meaning the switch will differentiate how much or how little you press it, kind of like an accelerator pedal in a car. Hopefully there'll be more uses for this kind of keyboard in the future. It just takes developers to develop uses for having analog keys, but if it takes off, that's great. Let's stay posted and see where they end up. Next in the news is an interesting announcement by CM Glenn of Cooler Master with some updates with Cooler Master. Out now, the new keyboards they have is the Master Keys Pro RGB in sizes S and L, and the Master Keys Pro No RGB in sizes M and L. Releasing at the end of the year will be the Master Keys Pro RGB in size M, as well as the Master Keys Pro with white LEDs in size S at the end of the year. Out early next year will be the Master Keys S and L sizes with no backlighting. An update is they're working on possibly releasing Nova Touch sliders independently. Still not certain on the progress of that. In terms of a 60% keyboard, Cooler Master is not looking into a 60% keyboard at the moment. And they said they might create a new Nova Touch in the future, but they have no available information at this time. They're working on wrist rests, PBT keycaps, ISO support, and MakerMade, which is a collaboration of Cooler Master and other vendors, which you should check out if you haven't. It's pretty interesting. Two interesting things I liked from this is that there may be a future Nova Touch board in the future. I like that. That's pretty cool. And they're going to be putting PBT keycaps into all upcoming boards. Hopefully all upcoming boards. They said the Master Keys will be the first keyboard to come out. Their first keyboard to come out with PBT keycaps, which I think is a step in the right direction. So often from so many OEMs we get thin, really crappy ABS keycaps that also have horrible font. So at least going PBT is a step in the right direction. Next on the news is a little interesting tidbit of information. A user pointed out that on Glorious PC Gaming Race's new modular keyboard that they were not in fact the first hot swappable keyboard, citing Team Wolf, a keyboard from China, as well as in development for 2 years now, the Fang Smart 68. A member of the PC Gaming Race team replied back saying they originally did work with Team Wolf, and Team Wolf actually betrayed their patent or betrayed their partnership and actually made it for themselves. this representative of PC Gaming Race also said that they are planning to have Team Wolf modular keyboards pulled from the markets. Will that actually happen? I don't know. I don't think so, but we'll see. Next in the news, something super exciting. Blank DSA and SA Vortex keycaps have shown up online. How exciting. Will this branch out and be a new opportunity for a new maker for DSA and SA styled keycaps other than signature plastics? Will this increase competition and change pricing in that for future SA sets? Who knows, but this is going to be an interesting road to go down and find out. Next in the news was a picture of Walter Cherry, the founder of Cherry Corporation, posted by Ripster. As you all know, Cherry makes so many of the switches that we all love on these keyboards. And I think this was a pretty cool post because Ripster actually did include some other interesting information. Like, the company was founded in 1953 in Illinois, eventually moved to Germany in 1979. Walter Cherry actually patented the capacitive switch before Toper did. There's even a link to it below, which I found super interesting and really cool. The company went private in 2000, and there's some other interesting facts about the company posted, as well as links and sources to all of them. So if you're interested in the history of Cherry, you should definitely check out this post. Thanks, Ripster. Next in the news is Zeal PC has posted a nice little video showing off his new Zeal silencing clips, or possibly named Zealencios. Name possibly to be decided, possibly decided already by the time this video is out. He tested them using some Gatoron linear switches, and there was quite a sound difference. The unique ones compared to the old QMK ones that you might have, unique key ones, sorry, that you might have seen on Mass Drop a few months back. Those were plate mounted switches only. For these, you could mount them on plate mounted switches, which will be very interesting and possibly a really good way to silence your keyboards without dealing with the hassles of O-rings. Last in the news, I got a job. Why is it important I got a job? It's important to announce that I got a job because I got a job at Origin of Co. I did a little announcement on Reddit and Geekhack, which you can see the links to those below. But the gist of it is I get a job at a keyboard company, and I did want to announce that. It won't change how I do my content on this channel. It won't change what I cover, how I cover it. I just want to announce, I'm trying to definitely restrict any possible conflict of interest, which obviously you can tell that there might be because I love keyboards. It's my passion. I work at a company. We do keyboard things and keycap things, and it's fun. But definitely want to let everyone know that. When I'm working, you'll see me possibly on Reddit or Geekhack or on the Discord. As Origin of Co-Huey. Otherwise, when I'm off hours, I will be Man of Interest. Next in the news is interest checks and group buys. For this section, I'll be covering interest checks and group buys that have happened in the last 2 weeks. I'll go be pretty quick about them because usually these news are either announcements or updates to these issues. Man of Interest here, and let's do the interest checks and group buys. Starting with DSA Borealis. DSA Borealis is an ABS DSA set. Double shot legends, the nice purple, blue, lighter blue, and cyan colorway. It kind of has that dark to light gradient, kind of like a Hawaii or Taihao Sunshine, for example. I think it's cool. I do like the inspired idea behind it. I think, my opinion is, it would have been better if they went kind of the route of Deep Space, where they took some of those colors, but definitely changed up with high different kind of contrasting levels of legends and keycaps. But that's my opinion. I think it's still a pretty nice set. The renders turned out pretty cool. I like the background behind it. The novelties, I'm digging the novelties. I need myself a Big Dipper key. Moving on is the interest check for the Ming Dynasty SA set. Another SA set. SA set is ballin' right now with so many new designs. The base set for this will be yellow legends, purple for the mods, and a dark blue for the alphas. There's also a separate alpha set, the golden set, which has fancy gold alphas with purple legend color. And there's going to be adapters, mods, etc. The novelties, I think, are absolutely phenomenal for this set. There's like 2 novelty sets, which I think is really, really awesome. I'm kind of liking the colorway. I'm not sure how it would look in person. I think it might be too loud or too gaudy, but keep my eye on this one. Keep my eye on this one. Moving on, next in interest checks and group buys, we have GMK Plum, which looks pretty nice. The alphas have the color of the inside of a plum, while the mods have the color of the skin of the plum, which is pretty cool. The legends for the alphas have the same font as the legends for the mods, and the mod legends have the same color as the alphas. There's a third color that's kind of reminds me of the DSA retro burgundy color for some accents as well. I love GMK, as you all know, and forward to see where this one ends up. Moving on is a group buy by Life Z. You might have known him from the various group buys he's done for aluminum Korean customs, and now he's doing another one, but a different take. It's the right here. The LZ Ergo TKL full aluminum keyboard. It splits at the 6TGB keys, but oddly enough, next to the N key, there's a key left to it that I guess you can reprogram to be B if you use that key, B with that hand, or just whatever you want. The size of the space bars is split up, so you have a standard size shift on your left thumb and a long shift 2.75 on your right thumb. You got arrow keys, you got a nav cluster, you got your 3 LEDs, so full thing is aluminum. Looks like it's quite the aggressive tilt, but it looks pretty awesome, and there are a plethora of bottom rows you can make it with. Moving on, eBang's GS did an interest check for a Midnight Drive, which is a full keycap set. I mean, not just for the his minivan Van 44 keyboard, which is also a mass drop, but it's a full key set. Period. Because a lot of people like that colorway. I saw it in person. It looks pretty awesome. He has lots of pictures up. Speaking of Evan, congratulations, Evan, on your new child, and I hope you have a wonderful family and you have a wonderful times ahead of you. Best of luck, my friends. Moving on, next interest check is an interest check for a DCS Doraemon, which is, I'm loving the colors, to be honest. It's kind of really out there, but I kind of like it, I guess, for the same reason I like the GMK Skeletor. So we got a nice white for the alphas and the numpad. We got blue for the mods and nav cluster and the outside right up of the numpad. The font is, the legends are red on the alphas and they are yellow against the blue mods and the Cetra keys. I like it, but I don't like the fact it's DCS. Mostly because, for me at least, usually the past few times I've typed on DCS, I've had 3 DCS key sets. I've had a blank transparent one, I've had the Bro set DCS, and I've had Twilight. I usually just don't like how they type that much. That's just me. It feels a bit like OEM to me. So while I like the colors, I'm not going to end up getting it. Moving on, for group buys, Mass Drop has, like I mentioned earlier, the minivan Van 44 40% keyboard, this time, unlike round 1, with an alternate bottom row. Another user pointed out that you can rearrange some of the keys and use the slash and exclamation mark to put an up arrow there, rearrange the keys in the bottom row, and you got your own little arrow keys on a 40% keyboard. Quite wonderful. Definitely you should check it out if you're looking for a 40% keyboard. That's not the plank. Moving on KeyClack, Jay-chan of KeyClack is so nice to host the international group buy for SA Camping. For those of you who might not know, SA Camping is a group buy being run primarily in China and Southeast Asia. Originally, the group buy was restricted to only that area, but due to lack of labor, lack of manpower, and lack of time, but Jay-chan of KeyClack has stepped up and said he's willing to be a middleman for the Western markets, and I think there's 50 sets going to be available to international buyers. Moving on, Originative, yay, has a group buy going on for a new set called Keyboard & Co., which is heavily inspired by Tiffany & Co., Diamond Supply Co., and the Nike SB Dunk shoes, which are ballin' shoes. I love the set. I love how the set looks. I'm a little iffy about the legends, like a lot of people are. I honestly think they'll look way better in person than they do on the renders. That's mostly because of my experience. That's how I felt about GMK Sky Dolce, for example. A lot of pictures people post, it doesn't capture that well. Recently there have been quite a few posts of Sky Dolce where they look phenomenal, but sometimes because of the dark, it might not look like there's enough contrast. But I think for this set, it can work out. Will I get it though? On the fence. Honestly, I am on the fence. Moving on is another group buy for GMK Dolce. It's returning. You all know the infamous Dolce set, also available in the Sky Dolce variant, one of the classics of mechanical keyboard keycap looks. It's going to have cyan-ish colored spacebar, enter, Q, escape, and numpad enter as accent keys. The price is pretty decent. You should all check it out if you like Dolce and are waiting for another round for the brand new sets. Trying to get you guys informed about these interest checks, maybe check them out and support the creators if it's something that you want to see actualized. I know all the time there are every now and then people who complain, oh, why can't I find this kind of key set, this kind of key set? Well, people are designing them. You just gotta hopefully find them and support them, or design them yourself. So with that, that is the end of this week in keyboards for this week. Updates will probably come out soon for what I'm going to do with this series, if I'm going to still do one a week, or if I'm going to split it up, or if I'm going to do every other week. I just released my review for the Kinesis Advantage as well. Check that out if you have time. Expect another review next weekend as well. Well, everyone,